Who is the Faceless Nun, and was she really vanquished by an exorcism? Welcome to Friday Night Ghost Frights from Haunted Road Media. I'm author and ghost historian Mike Ricksecker. Explore with us. Our current pop culture has created an image of a creepy supernatural nun, but there have been real hauntings by nuns almost just as creepy, like the Faceless Nun. The Faceless Nun at St. Mary's of the Woods College in Terre Haute, Indiana, grew into an urban legend that nearly obscured the truth. Many of these legends and sightings at Foley Hall on campus have been collected and kept in the Indiana State University Folklore archives. One legend states, a nun heard someone crying in a pew and found there was another nun crying there. The first sister went up and put her hand on the crying nun's shoulder. The crying nun looked up and she didn't have a face. Yet another claims, there was a girl studying late one evening by herself when something happened and the lights went out. She couldn't find her way out, but this nun suddenly appeared beside the girl in the dark and showed her the way out. The nun disappeared when she turned around. And another account states, some of the sisters think it is another sister of Providence who, for some reason, cannot get into heaven. However, the most common legend of the Faceless Nun is that she was an artist creating a painting of a nun, a self-portrait some say, and died before she could start creating the face. Here are some variations of the tale. Once there was a nun who was an excellent artist. She worked in Foley Hall painting a self-portrait. When she died, she had not finished the face of the picture. Every once in a while, she comes back to haunt the hall as the Faceless Nun. Supposedly, there have been a number of exorcisms to rid the hall of her. Another story ventures overseas. Around the year 1940, a nun had started a portrait and was transferred to France before she could finish the picture. While in France, the nun died a tragic death. This nun came back and haunted the building. The building had to be exorcised. In a more detailed story about two girls, it was a Saturday evening. They were on the 4th floor studying. They kept noticing out of the corner of their eyes a shadow passing by the window. They finally got up and looked out the window and saw the figure of a nun, complete with habit and everything, who was walking back and forth in mid-air about 20 feet from the window with her side to the window. The girls, who were art majors, saw the figure stop and turn to face them. Lore has it that a nun was once doing a self-portrait of herself. She had it all completed except for the face when she died. Now, she was looking for someone to finish the portrait. One of the girls' nerves was so affected by the episode that she had to drop out of school. But the truth of the Faceless Nun was revealed in 1974 by Sister Esther Newport, who worked in the art department from 1931 to 1964. She discredited the backstory of the nun painting her self-portrait as beautiful fiction, but recounts the following tales of her own experiences with the Faceless Nun. Sister Esther was working in the Foley building one cold night and decided to check on a girl she named Isabel, who was working late in the art department's large room. As Esther entered the hall where the room resided, she found Isabel standing out in the hallway near the door of the room. Sister Esther asked the girl if there was something the matter or if she was just frozen out from the cold. Isabel responded, "I'm sick and tired of that nun coming around." Sister Esther asked her about the nun and who she was, but Isabel couldn't tell because of the way she stood in the light. Isabel added, "She leaves when I speak to her, and I never see her face." "And there," Esther said, "is her Faceless Nun." But wait, there's more. Other girls at the school also encountered the Faceless Nun at Foley. Two girls named Anna and Catherine were cleaning in the art department one morning, and Sister Esther decided to go check on them. When Catherine saw Sister Esther, she asked Esther if she had seen the sister who was looking for her. Esther had not, and Catherine continued to describe that this sister, whom she did not recognize, had pleats down the front of her dress. Sister Esther began questioning Catherine about the nun she'd seen, whether it had been Sister Celestine or the sister from Texas who wore a gimp with pleats. But Catherine responded it was not either of them, and she was a funny-looking sister, and you know, you're going to think I'm crazy, but this sister didn't have a face. Other incidents that included phantom nuns at Foley Hall were, one time, in Sister Esther's figure drawing class, a girl near one of the windows in the large art room looked up and said something aloud to seemingly no one. When Esther remarked from across the room, the girl was startled and said, "But sister, you were right here next to me a moment ago." Another time, Sister Esther brought a visitor from Chicago up to the art room one night to view some of her work. During the visit, Esther stepped behind a large painting in order to turn it so her friend could see it. But when she looked back at her friend, her back was to Sister Esther, and she was muttering something to someone in the corner. Esther got her attention, and the woman spun about astonished. "Are you all over this place?" Whether these sightings were of the Faceless Nun or not is unknown. Then there's the legend of the exorcism that was supposed to have been conducted in order to drive out the Faceless Nun. While not really an exorcism, this story about the Faceless Nun originated from a mass that had been arranged for a special intention, and that special intention was to quiet the ghosts in Foley. So perhaps it was like an exorcism light. Unfortunately, the beautiful Foley Hall was razed in 1989, just 4 years after it was placed on the National Register of Historic Places. But that doesn't mean the ghost of the Faceless Nun doesn't still haunt the grounds. For more stories about creepy haunted nuns throughout history and pop culture, please check out our other videos off to the side. I'm Mike Ricksecker. Till next Friday night.